Hoy ha sido un día glorioso.
Sí.
Lo que Dios nos dio hoy fue glorioso. Porque están todos.
But today has been a glorious day. What God has given us today was glorious because there is so much to talk about. There is no way to stop. And everything that one is speaking, did you notice that one says a part and then another branch appears in one subject? It is like to follow that subject, the message we're going to study. So that subject is held back, paused. Only with one branch, one can continue with that other subject. But that is a ramification, and one continues with the same topic. That is another ramification. And the very title says it, the fulfillment. So it's the same word being fulfilled, materialized, yesterday and today. But from one single scripture, notice how so many line or branches of thought and so much scripture comes out of the Bible. From the messages of Brother Branham and for Brother William's message as well. And sometimes that is why one doesn't have a stopping point. And that is when one understands when he would say, there is no way to stop. One lives it. Because there are still brethren who say, why did you stop? We could have continued. Even the brethren. See, if you, from there you could jump over here. See, did you notice? The same person notices that one scripture jumps to the next, jumps to another. Because what God has given us in this time is the most glorious thing. It's the complete knowledge of the divine program. What happened yesterday, what is happening today, and what will happen tomorrow. In other words, the tomorrow. But what pertains to us the most is to know what is happening today, at the moment, in present time. The fulfillment of the entire word that was prophesied and spoken, notice, now we see it being fulfilled in us. That is why today, when we speak of those that are going to be adopted, we no longer see that in the future. Now all we have to do is look in the mirror. It is you and me. Now, that word that was spoken, which was like Paul said, I still have a little more time. And those of Irenaeus, Brother William says, and those who knew or were aware that there was still time left. Those of Brother Branham were already really close. But to know that one says, it is me, like the small child in the mirror. He would do this, the one in the mirror would do this, and he would do this, and so would the one in the mirror. And suddenly, he did something that was very peculiar to him, but so did the one in the mirror. Oh no, wait, okay, Mom, it is me reflected there. And once you see is your reflection there, what one has to do is to look at yourself and say, oh wait, that is me. And that is the fulfilled word being materialized in each one of us. In other words, that word that is there, nature groaning, waiting for the manifestation of the children of God, and one reads it, and before we thought, who will these children of God be? And now I am one of them. I am one of those who is there. So that is what God is fulfilling in this time, which is the time where God has left the best for His children. And therefore, He has left the best as a child, as children, which is us. In other words, the best things that God has left in this time are His children, us. And the best thing He has left for this time are His promises. That is, the greatest thing that has been given to any human being who has passed through this planet Earth has been to us. It is the greatest thing that God has given us. And in such a simple way, in such a humble and simple way. And there is where the lukewarm stumbles, but the hot one sticks on there closely. To what? To the only thing that gives warmth, the pillar of fire. That is the only thing that gives warmth. Therefore, there is where they continue to ignite until they will not only be cloven tongues, but they will be little pillars of fire, drawn from that great pillar of fire, which will transform us. So it has been a day of great blessings today, and we have to reread everything that was read there and spoken, because everything is enclosed and everything is framed in the mystery of the second coming of the Son of Man with his angels. That with is very important. Without the fulfillment of what was foreshadowed by the Reverend William Branham, if he had foreshadowed the second coming of the Lord only by forerunning the coming of the Son of Man, then he was not the forerunner. But he foreshadowed, as he had to foreshadow, the coming of the Son of Man with his angels. It automatically vindicates him as the forerunner of the second coming of the Lord. So, it has been the greatest and most glorious time that has been given to us, because it is the time where it has been granted to know that mystery. It was not granted in past ages nor in past times, not even granted when Brother William was here. Now is the time to openly know the mystery of the seventh seal, and that you and I have been predestinated from before the foundation of the world to believe it. No, there are no words to thank God for that great blessing that has been given to each one of us, that so many prophets and righteous men wish to see what we are seeing and to hear what we are hearing. So that is why we are more than blessed. May God bless you, may God keep you. And tomorrow we will see each other in tomorrow's activity, and pray greatly every day for this week, because from what we see during this week, there are many things that are to be spoken about, which are very important things, which are like when Jesus said and preached to them, and then he said, when the people were dismissed, the disciples came to him separately, and there he will give a great revelation. It was not that they took it for themselves, they were sharing it with others for sure, but see, in a private way. So there is something there with all that repeats itself. And it's not wanting to make ourselves great or anything, but it's the way God works. So those chats are also very important. And if you notice, it is with workers, with fellow workers. And in all that, there are many things that later on in history, because what we are doing is history, in history we will see and understand it. Look, when we were talking over there with the guys, and there we will see the greatness of God in the midst of the people being manifested in a simple way, in a common way, in a construction worker. Well, God bless you and God keep you all.